up, Taiwan? I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The country's defense ministry has apologized for sending a nationwide alert warning in English of a Chinese missile fired over Taiwan.
但是简讯的英文用语因为疏忽没有同步更新原系统用字，精准的表达发射物是卫星而不是飞弹。国防部向社会大众致歉。
People across Taiwan were surprised by the alert, which said in Mandarin that the object was a satellite, contradicting the English message. China later announced it had launched a research probe on board a Long March rocket. Chinese rockets have passed over Taiwan before, but it's the first time the government has sent out an alert. Taiwan's main opposition party is accusing the government of using a national security law to persecute ordinary citizens. As John Van Trieste reports, it's a case that's highlighting both threats to Taiwan's sovereignty and civil liberty concerns.
Retired police officer Liao is at the center of Taiwan's newest political storm. Like many Taiwanese people, he has Chinese ancestry, and in October, he went to China in search of his roots. But despite many Taiwanese having Chinese heritage, Taiwan-China ties today are deeply strained. China claims Taiwan as its territory and regularly threatens to invade. Prosecutors say that while in China, Liao broke a national security law that aims to protect Taiwan from more subtle Chinese interference. It's known that Liao met with an official from China's Taiwan Affairs Office and called for peace with China in a group chat. But it's not clear how prosecutors think he broke the law. They haven't brought any charges. But they've called him in for questioning anyway, sparking concerns his civil liberties are being violated.
我就觉得这无形中不知道有什么力量还是什么在牵引着。我说我从年轻当兵当警察做了35年，你给我这反渗透法，真的对我很大的伤害。我说这传出去，人家会认我叛国一样。
Taiwan's main opposition party, the Kuomintang, says the case is political. It wants warmer ties with China, and it's accusing the ruling Democratic Progressive Party of abusing its power.
检警调，大家都是公务人员，我们不要为特定的政党在当他的打手。
The Democratic Progressive Party sees things differently.
基本上，我相信检调在调查的过程当中，其实就是要厘清。可是如果连厘清都觉得要出来抗议，那这不是心里有鬼是有什么？
Liao's situation isn't isolated. There are 100 active cases of suspected Chinese interference involving 206 people. But Liao hasn't been charged or even clearly accused. And his case highlights the difficult balance Taiwan is trying to strike between protecting its sovereignty and the principles it prides itself on, like due process and the presumption of innocence. James Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
When it comes to defending Taiwan from a possible Chinese invasion, most of the focus is on traditional arms like fighter jets, tanks, and ammunition. But another scenario could see the island completely cut off from the rest of the world. Joyce Tseng reports on the deep-sea cables that could be used to take the country down.
A complete breakdown of critical infrastructure. That's what a dreaded 0 hour could look like for Taiwan if Beijing were to act on its threat to invade the country. Under growing Chinese military and political pressure, Taiwan's been boosting its military defenses. But according to the Deputy Digital Affairs Minister, the worst possibility wouldn't be a missile attack or troops storming Taiwan's beaches, but the severing of critical communication lines.
其实我们现在就已经在推演最糟糕的情况，就是我们的海底电缆整个被断掉，我们连网络都没得用。台湾是一个海岛嘛，那所以台湾所有的对外联络通讯，基本上以现在的技术还是以海底电缆为主。
Just 14 underwater communication cables link Taiwan to the outside world, which connect at 4 points on the main island. Damaging these connections could send Taiwan into a comms blackout, completely cut off from other countries. Speaking with TaiwanPlus, Global Networks Manager William Zhangjian from the telecom company manning most of these cables said he's concerned because the lines running to East and Southeast Asia effectively work as a cluster.
因为它一断的话，通常都是断的啦，不会说我东南的断了，东北的还留着。
And since 80% of these lines are in the South China Sea, they're vulnerable to Chinese attack. But Zhang says a lifeline could be the cables running out into the Pacific Ocean towards the U.S.
泛太平洋的海缆要被中断，其实有点难度，我是觉得比较高一点。 因为它所在的范围其实都是在美国的保护之下。
Still, Taiwan going dark is a serious risk that would upend the lives of millions in the country. Taipei only has a handful of official diplomatic allies, and few countries have said explicitly that they would help defend Taiwan. But some analysts say shutting off Taiwan's comms might compel major world powers to offer different aid.
It's definitely easier than providing defense equipment or defense assistance because, in terms of communications blackout or something that affects the citizens more directly and is a little less controversial than giving defense equipment to Taiwan.
Taiwan's been working on building backup tech like satellites to mitigate the possibility of going dark, keeping the country connected to the world even in a worst-case scenario. Andy Xue and Joyce Sun for TaiwanPlus.
For the first time ever, Taiwan had a policy presentation for its political parties. Each party got time to speak based on the number of at-large legislators they're fielding in Saturday's vote. The major parties sparred over a controversial figure on the main opposition Kuomintang's legislator list. Smaller parties used their time to talk about their views on issues ranging from childcare to energy to education. Each party will get at least one at-large legislative seat if they reach a minimum of 5% of the party vote on Saturday. With just a few days until Taiwan's presidential election, candidates are rushing to make their final pitches to voters. It's a stressful time for everyone, Sandy Chi explains.
Supporting their presidential pick at campaign stop after campaign stop, people in Taiwan are getting ready to cast their ballots to choose the next leader of the country. With so much at stake, voters are a little on edge.
小紧张啦，对啊，毕竟是大事啊，大家都要去投票一下。
为什么要去投票？主要还是因为各个候选人的就是我支持的政党的政策比较让我觉得符合我。
However, amid all the energy, high hopes, and a chance to make their voices heard, voters are also facing a different emotion: anxiety. In recent weeks, psychiatrists in the country have seen a growing number of patients, especially young ones.
2024年，我们看到这总统跟立委选举，年轻世代的焦虑比较高，他们碰到很多他们眼前的困扰，那会有压力。比如说男生来讲，要不要当兵，就职很困扰，物价上涨，然后呢，兵凶战危。那要不要结婚？要不要生小孩？那这焦虑呢，在希望找出适当的候选人的时候，他就会产生一些压力。
Doctors say, in the past, the majority of those with election anxiety were older folks. But now, because of technology, younger people are feeling it too.
大概多了20%左右，晚上都不睡觉。那以前我们就觉得说他可能只是做网络成瘾，结果不是，他竟然都一直在发文章，然后或者一直在转传。
Doctors advise people experiencing election anxiety to reduce time spent on following politics and focus more on exercise and leisure activities. If the anxiety continues after the elections, they should seek medical care. Luffy Lee and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Taipei is offering cash prizes to entice people to get a new COVID-19 jab. Vaccine recipients in Taiwan's capital will be entered into a lottery with top prizes worth over $300. The Novavax vaccine is available for people aged 12 and up and is designed to combat a prevalent variant of the virus that causes COVID. Its release comes as Taiwan's health authorities warn of an uptick in infections expected to peak at 20,000 a day in mid-January. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with footage of residents in Mexico City enjoying a giant cake as the Christmas holidays wrap up. I'm Leslie Liao. Take care, and I'll see you next time.